Oh, hey, and welcome to the Board Game Entrepreneur Podcast. I'm Nick Angiers. All right, this is a bit of a different episode. I'm going to introduce to you a pretty big event that I have coming up. So, with Meeple Leaf, my whole model is to do board game related events. And as we all know, with 2020, physical events have not been held, or at least on a very small scale. They've all been scaled back. I've been hosting a lot of online events where we play Jackbox, more recently Board Game Arena. And this year I really wanted to do a larger physical game convention here in Vancouver. In the past 2 years I've been doing quite a few smaller ones, mini cons, special design events, that kind of thing. And we're getting close to the end of the year, so I decided, okay, this is my last chance. I'm just going to do an online event. So it's called Meeple Leaf Con 20, and it's going to be 20 days of these game events, the regular ones, but more of them, and also some special ones. So I'm just going to give you a rundown of, first of all, why I'm doing this format. I got a government grant again this year to hold a weekend of game events. So this is through the Vancouver Foundation Small Neighborhood Grants. And I applied for, the maximum is $500. I wish I had been more creative in what expenses I could come up with, because I could only come up with two things. That was the whole suite of Jackbox games, because I was hosting every Friday, but I only had 2 party packs, and there's 7 in total. So all the remaining ones were about $100 altogether. And then I got a premium membership for Board Game Arena. That was $34. Yeah, it's not too expensive for a whole year. And that lets you host all the games, and then you don't have to wait when otherwise you would have to wait, that kind of thing. So there's more features. So it's quite affordable on its own. But I figured if I can get a grant, then why not apply for it? In retrospect, I wish I had applied for a subsidy for RPGs. I'd like to have someone who's actually like a paid RPG GM to host those. That would have been really awesome. But next year, if I do a virtual one next year, hopefully I'll do a physical one. Okay, so here are the events that I'm doing. Starting on the 26th, that's Boxing Day here in Canada. So 11 o'clock to 11:30, I'm going to do an opening chat. So it's just going to be like a Zoom chat where we talk about what games we got for Christmas, if we're that lucky, and just say hi. How's everybody doing? A lot of people I haven't talked to for a long time, so hopefully at least a handful of people show up for that. And then as usual that night I'll do Among Us, and then I have a special event that evening at 9 o'clock. Codenames. I did a Codenames retheme just a few days ago with bands, pictures of bands, and also words related to bands, kind of generally related to music, but not that general. Like I didn't have note or, leitmotif, tune, things that you'd have only in music, but not with bands. It was a lot of like rehearse and hair, things that are more related to bands. And then the pictures were pictures of actual bands. That was really interesting. So for Christmas, I'm going to do a Christmas-related one, of course. And this one, I'm going to charge a little bit. And one reason is that I do pay for the stock photos. They're about $4 each. And I can use one stock photo. If it's like clip art, I can get like a Christmas clip art one. So I'm going to use that for like a whole board of cards. Yeah, so it's not much. But the other reason is I've never used the payment system for Facebook or for Meetup, and eventually I do plan to do more highly produced paid events, so it's kind of just testing the waters. And also I want to see if, say, half a dozen people show up for the free one, but then for the paid one only 2 people show up. That's kind of a problem, right? Even if it's only $1, which was the minimum amount they let me, $1.39. So that's the 26th, and then I have a few blank days where events that take collaboration with other people, I'm going to give priority to those. And then I have a whole list of ideas to put on the dates that are still open after that. So I'll just go through the ones that aren't open. Mondays, we're doing Board Game Arena starting at 8. Tuesday, the 29th of December. So we're going to do an RPG one-shot that's hosted by Rain City Games. That's going to be very cool. 7 o'clock to 10 o'clock. And that's a paid event. So their GMs are really good. They actually get paid for what they do. So it's like a job for them. So if it's your first RPG experience, maybe that's worth checking out. It's $14.99 per person. And that's a 3-hour event. Pretty reasonable. Okay, and then Friday Jackbox as usual. Okay, not as usual because we're gonna be doing like a week-long Jackbox Marathon. That's the 1st of January. So I said there's 7 party packs, right? So we're gonna go in order. January 1st is party pack 1, January 2nd party pack 2, and so on, all the way up to the 7th. And then the 8th is Friday, so we'll have just our usual, free-for-all, play whatever people want Jackbox night. In between, okay, so this is the 4th of January from 3 p.m. to 3:30. I'm doing a creator spotlight with Jay Cormier. He's a local Vancouver board game designer and also publisher, and he's done lots of really cool projects. So it'll be like not really like an interview, more like a chat. So people can join into the Zoom chat and they can talk to him in person and ask him questions, or they can send questions in advance, and then I'll also upload the chat afterwards. So if you can't make it for that time, then you can see it later. Yeah, anything that I don't mention a price for is all free. So these are all free events. And I'm actually trying to boost this one on Facebook a bit. I don't usually do boosting. I want to go for organic traffic and see if I can do that first. And then once I see what is getting traffic, then lean into it with boosting. But with this one, I want to kind of experiment as well. Okay, next one is January 9th and 10th. I'm going to do a Board Game Arena Marathon. So this is as part of the grant. So the Saturday and the Sunday of that weekend, I'll have Board Game Arena events basically the whole weekend, right? Probably like 10 hours a day. That's a lot. And then on the 15th, so that's the last day, that'll just be like a closing chat. I don't want to do a ceremony, make it all formal. I don't like going to those, and I don't think it's going to be super interesting to watch. So I'll just do like a chat, thanks everybody, and then kind of recap what happened. Just keep it casual. And I've got a bunch of other ideas too. For example, Drawful 2020. So you can do custom Drawful games. I mentioned that a few episodes ago. I haven't done it yet, but it's going to be really cool, I think. So my idea is to make all the prompts 2020 related, and then people have to draw those. And I don't have dates for that yet. A few other ideas that I have that I haven't confirmed dates for are do like a live roll and write game like Cartographers or Welcome To, where one person is hosting and then everybody else can print out a sheet, or they can just do it digitally through Paint or whatever. I've done similar ones like that before, and they're a lot of fun, so I'm just waiting for confirmation from the friends that I approached. I'd like to do a watch party for Game Masters. This is a documentary, and I'd broadcast it live, and then people can come and watch it. I have watched it. It's really interesting. So I'm looking forward to sharing that with other people. I'll probably do a live episode of this podcast with someone. A friend and I will likely do a dice throne, like I don't know what you'd call it, like a battle royale, where we have the whole suite of characters, so seasons 1 and 2, and we choose which one we start with, and then we whoever gets eliminated, that character is just gone. Kind of like Street Fighter, where you just eliminate the other characters, and then keep going until one player runs out of characters. So it could take hours, but I think it'd be really fun. And I've also been releasing a poster about once a week, so those are kind of fun to do. Just kind of like teasers. They don't really say anything. It's just like a gag, basically, in the form of a poster. I'd like to do something with Board Game Feast. Daniel Winter, he does some really good content about board game related cooking and baking. Super awesome. So maybe we'll do a chat, or he'll prepare something just for us. And then I'd like to do a game design one. Normally these take place in person. So Avant-Garde, I've been involved with a little bit. I mostly go as a participant, but we did do a crossover, like Mix and Mash, where Mark Ellis and I from Avant-Garde, we did a game mashup event. So I'd like to do something like that where people can pick up their supplies in advance, and I want to make surprise bags. So in the bag is a bunch of stuff, and you're not allowed to open it until the event starts. So these are usually paid events too, and it's like $15. You get a really sweet Panda Manufacturing design kit, which has a lot of cool stuff in it. That alone is worth more than the $15. I definitely like to do something like a Jeopardy, because Alex Trebek, R.I.P. So I could make all the, not the questions, but the answers, right? Because you have to ask in the form of a question. You have to answer in the form of a question. You know what I mean. So I'll make them all board game themed. So like a board game themed Jeopardy game. I could put that together. Blood on the Clock Tower we'll probably do. Someone has already approached me about that. That's a social game where you have to find out which of you is the murderer. And I've got some other ideas, but that should be plenty. There's going to be at least one event per day. And on days where there's a regular weekly event, I'll have an event in addition to that. Weekends, there will probably be several events. And where do you learn about all this? Well, as usual, just keep an eye on Meeple Leaf Facebook page. So it's facebook.com/Meeple Leaf, and you'll get all the announcements there. If you want to get my weekly newsletter, then on the Facebook page, there's a sign up button, and then you'll get, right now it's 2 emails a week. I try not to be too spammy. I only give cool stuff, like the events I send out on Monday, and that's just what events are coming up this week, all text. And on Fridays, I send out the board game travel blog, which has been a lot of fun to do, really interesting. So there's also Meetup. Some people don't like to use Facebook or whatever, or they don't know me, but they can see me on Meetup. It's meetup.com/Meeple-Leaf. So right now, those are the 2 places that I put announcements. And then also meepleleaf.ca. I have a calendar on there, so that's even more straightforward. That wraps up this episode. Next time, as I just mentioned, the board game travel blog. So I'd like to share a bit about that with you, why I'm doing it, how it's going so far, and what my plans are for it in the future when actual travel is possible again. And that will be our 20th episode. So that's kind of like the first season, and then I'll be switching to an interview format. I've already recorded 3 episodes for that, and they're all pretty awesome. So thank you so much for listening. Stay safe and happy gaming.